Good afternoon and welcome to episode number 38 of Trax Action News. I'm Alex Vanover.
And I'm Josh LaRue. And this is your local news at 10.
Okay. No, it's not.
Oh.
And Josh is on a little bit of a delay right there. Thought he was screwing with me. Were you screwing with me?
A little bit.
Okay. You pulled a Charlie on me from the Angus interview right there.
What was your question?
Were you delaying on me there? Josh?
No, not delaying.
Great. Good to hear.
What? You said, hey, Josh? What?
I did.
What's good to hear? What's good to hear?
Jumpin' Jeff, you excited that we got a brand new episode on the way here?
Yep.
Looks like he is. No delay on that. It was recorded earlier.
Hey, Tony the Spider, how do you feel about a brand new episode?
Here's Tony the Spider. If you people only knew.
What? If we only knew, like, what would we be thinking right now? He never gives a straight answer.
Yeah, he's paid per grammatical sentence here at the network, and the producers of the show have him on like a 7-word limit per episode because the budget is just a little bit tight down here at the network for the time being. But we are on the up and up, and things are looking good. Josh,
yes,
I think it's that time of the show. To start the show, let's do some nice comments.
Oh, wow. I forgot all about those. Sure, let's do it. So many mean ones these days.
No mean ones in Express-ish. We save those for full episodes.
Okay.
All right, here's a good one, Josh. Timeout. Real American booze? That is hilarious. And that's from our friend, Luther McDermott. And he left that in the comments of /Trax News Express-ish number 2.
I like the Luther part. Like, love that. And I love your comment too. Yeah, love it.
How do you feel about your genius last episode coming up with the Real American booze?
It was an accident. I didn't think it up. It just happened. So it's perfect. In fact, I've got a tagline for the booze. I was going to go with something like when it comes crashing down or something, but no, it's goes down like a stadium full of thousands of people booing your ass.
So it goes down smooth, huh? Real smooth.
Oh, yeah.
And you exit the arena as fast as you possibly can after you have that can of beer.
Yep. And another tagline: you can blame Jimmy Hart for the hardcore buzz.
What do you think about Hulk Hogan? This is a sidetrack, of course. What do you think about Hulk Hogan all of a sudden pulling himself from the most recent episode of Saturday Night's Main Event, even after he was advertised for it?
He didn't pull himself. Like, there's no way all of a sudden he's like, oh, darn it, my son's getting married that night. No, didn't happen. And I think CM Punk was like supposed to gauge the Texas crowd because everybody was like, oh, it only happened in Los Angeles because it's like a Democrat town, city or whatever. So in Dallas, Texas, CM Punk last week was like, and if Hulk Hogan comes into the Royal Rumble, everybody starts booing as soon as he says Hulk Hogan. He's like, I'll throw his dusty ass over the top rope and kill Hulkamania for good. Crowd goes crazy. So I think once they saw that even in Texas, they hated Hogan, they pulled him off the Saturday Night's Main Event because it's not good for business. And, because he's like got to deal with them for freaking beer and stuff. I think it wasn't good for business. He's not in shape to really be a heel character anymore. Even as like just a figurehead.
Yeah.
So I think it was just to save face for him and the company. Bye, Hogan. You should have left a long time ago, brother.
Wait a minute, getting canceled doesn't work for me, dude.
Well, this is one time your creative card can just get shoved up your butt there. Maybe watch what you say and don't alienate so many people with your lies and racism and all that other crap.
Self-promotion,
And
holding every person you've ever worked with down.
kowtowing for a really hated person, like all that stuff, man. Just if you want to do the crazy stuff, do it as Terry Bollea. Quit bringing Hulk Hogan into it. Learn a lesson from the Undertaker.
Are either one of them beloved at this point, though? Isn't Terry Bollea, seriously, he's been playing Hulk Hogan for so long. Is it not? Is he not Hulk Hogan?
Well,
I mean, is it
like
not the same person?
if he had went out and did that one thing, which I'm not going to say what it was, and was like, listen, folks, this person is somebody I really believe in, and da 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 da, and no. If he had done that, because I'm not going to say names, I think a lot of people wouldn't care. But whenever he's like, "Tell you what, brother," it's idiocracy. It's Macho Camacho from the movie Idiocracy. If you haven't seen it, watch that movie because we're living in it, folks.
Hey, let's get into the second and last nice comment of Express-ish.
Well, wait a second. What do you think happened on Saturday night's main event?
I think that there's no way that Nick all of a sudden got married. Like he didn't know that the wedding, what was it, the fastest shotgun wedding of all time? They planned out Macho Man and Elizabeth's wedding better than they planned out his own son's wedding. Like I knew Macho Man was getting married months before the pay-per-view. You're telling me that he didn't know that Nick, his own son, I think is the only person he speaks to in the family,
Right.
Brooke just had twins, by the way, /
Oh,
Alex.
Mazel tov.
I don't think he's on speaking terms with her right now. I don't know for sure, but Brooke sure makes it seem like she's not close with her dad.
That's sad.
It is sad. That's too bad. But there's no way, Josh. I agree with you. There's no way he didn't know that Nick's wedding wasn't coming up. I think the reception from the previous appearance he made at Raw on Netflix, I think all the backlash he's had, all these YouTube videos have popped up since he got booed, just shredding him and eviscerating him. I think that everything he did has finally come back to in a sense end his career. This is it. He stayed he stayed along long enough to become the real villain.
That's what we said last time. Yeah.
What happened? Yeah.
Karma. What goes around comes around. And he's done a lot of bad stuff and done a lot of stupid stuff and done a lot of hateful stuff. And I think it's just chickens coming home to roost. So
yeah,
and I was a Hulkamaniac, man. I was a big Hulkamaniac for years and years. So
what's exciting about this though is like, Hulk Hogan's career is coming to an end, but we're going to start making Real American Booze. I mean, we had a bunch of orders last week. Josh and I are going to start making a healthy profit off that subtle Freudian slip Josh had, that stroke of genius. And we're going to make money off of it, just like we did Warrior Fuel, Nuclear Grizzlies, all this stuff. Hogan's downfall is the rise of Trax.
And we're happy to announce the first flavored Real American Booze product. That's not going to work for me, brother. Blue raspberry. So,
all right. Hey, second and last nice comment.
Yes.
He's fat. This episode has a 210% chance of being awesome. And
Scott?
that's from our friend Rena Dozier 2148, and they left that comment in the comments below of /Trax News Expressius #2.
Are we sure that wasn't Scott Steiner? Like in disguise? It sounded like his math.
I wish it was. Scott Steiner, by the way, is all over this episode, so you're welcome, Josh. So this is the first. If you have a bingo card at home and you're playing Scott Steiner bingo, go ahead and mark the upper right corner because that's the first letter that's going to be revealed on today's episode with Scott Steiner. Josh, before we get into fun facts, can we have a word from today's sponsor?
Yes.
I hate this part.
Monsterizer back at Taco Bell. Get them while they're fresh. Just 99 cents with the purchase of a combo meal. Taco Bell. Want some?
There you have it.
I got to get me some of those. Those freaking eyeball straws look really fun. Um, Definitely need to go get some of those. It makes drinking a Baja Blast even more fun than with a normal straw because now you have an eyeball to drink it out of. So that's cool.
Hey, and if you put one instead of like crazy straws, you could have instead of crazy eye straws, you can have like lazy eye straws. Have one straw like looking in this direction and the other straw looking right at you, and you
Yeah.
got lazy eye straws. Yeah.
Yeah, in the lazy eye straws that he's talking about, they are celebrity endorsed by Zeus from WWF SummerSlam 1989, who also played Debo on Friday, and from our friend Bill Cosby, who has the most world famous wonky lazy. What? Huh?
He's not our friend. Stop it.
Is he not working? Is he not a sponsor? We're not. What happened? You're
Bill
telling me that
Cosby?
you're telling me Bill Cosby's not popular anymore? What are you saying?
There's just timeout to the audience. I'm gonna have a talk with Alex real quick, so I'm gonna mute it. And pudding, but yeah, yeah,
I didn't know that at all.
yeah.
Okay, so in Zeus, you told me also Zeus is dead. So nobody actually we have no celebrity sponsors for the lazy eye straw anymore. So it's bad news today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damn. Um, let's get into something a little bit more fun then. What do you say? Fun facts?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. You better lay off on the Cosby drinks. I need you awake for this episode. Uh, Josh, male cheetahs have a very special bark. This bark can actually cause female cheetahs to ovulate on demand.
Wow, that is intense. That is intense. That's like camping. That is intense.
Intense. Can you imagine? It's like the female cheetahs are down by the water hole and they're like, I really don't like this cheetah. It's just not my type. Not really into him. I'm not feeling. Oh! I don't know what it is about him now, but I'm just so into him. I don't know what changed.
I need to get pregnant like right now.
Wow, I really want him to give me a
Excuse me.
baby. Hey Josh, second
Wait,
fun
wait.
fact of the episode. Huh?
We have to be careful saying I need to get pregnant right now because like Bill Cosby might hear it. And
Yeah, Bill Cosby was actually in the green room for this episode because he was one of the sponsors for Wonky Eye Straws that we had. So this is
he's down there at the Cheetah River, like dumping some stuff in the water. Like,
oh my God. Can somebody, Josh, can you get Jumpin' Jeff and Tony the Spider to go to the green room and please remove Bill Cosby from the premises? Because I wasn't aware of all this stuff that was going on until you told me.
yeah, okay, 1 second.
Okay.
Hey, Jumpin' Jeff, I need you and Tony to go to the green room and remove our guest sponsor number 2. Yeah. Why? I'm not going through that again. Just rewind the show and you'll see. Just read my lips. But yeah, just do it. Will you do it?
Yep.
Okay. You don't have to yell yep. All right, thank you. It's taken care of.
Yeah, I heard him. I heard him actually say it over the microphone. Hey Josh, did you know that you can stay in a hotel in Japan for $1 a night? But the only catch is that the hotel gets to live stream your entire trip for 24/7. So the entire time you're there, they're live streaming and filming you. Would you still do it?
What, like going to the bathroom and everything?
Everything. They get to you saw it's $1 a night, Josh. Do you know how expensive things are in Japan? Don't be dumb. I'd do
Yeah.
it.
I don't know. I don't know. There is also a place where you can stay for free, but people can like look in on you. It's got like a clear look that one up later. There's a fun fact for you. I don't remember where it's at, but there's a hotel somewhere in the world where it's like a glass front, like windows, and you can
Yeah.
stay there for free, but you're on display the whole time.
Um I want to one time when I went to Reno, I stayed in this hotel. I think it was called the Fitzgerald's. It doesn't exist anymore, but So we're at the Fitzgerald's. I'm with my friend at the time. They had this like to divide the room from the bathroom. There was a piece of glass, and it was like a two-way mirror or a two-way piece of glass. So like you couldn't see out and you couldn't see in, but it was like translucent. But if you put your face up to the glass really close, it would look like the person could see you. Like you could see their face clearly, clearly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Okay, so my friend, when I would go in there to go to the bathroom, he would run up to the glass and put his face on the glass and move his eyeballs all around like he was watching me. He couldn't actually see me, but it looked like he could see me, so therefore I couldn't go to the bathroom even though I had to go to the bathroom. It was awful. Do you perform under pressure, Josh? Can you go to the bathroom when someone's watching you?
nope.
What's your situation with that?
I
It's
cannot.
hard.
I was about to say no, no, no. Whenever you said like he was like looking, I just all I could think about was like him holding up a couple crazy eye straws. Just
Look at these
I
awesome
see
straws.
you.
Look at these awesome straws I just got from Bill Cosby downstairs.
Oh my god. Put them
Hey,
down. What's that white
last
residue on them?
oh God. It's either roofies or Coke. Last fun fact of Express-ish. You ready?
Ready.
Don't be too excited. During the California Gold Rush, Josh, of 1849, the scarcity of supplies led to exorbitant prices for basic goods. In some mining camps, a single egg, Josh, would cost $3, which means in today's money that one egg cost $80.
Oh
So,
crap.
yeah, an $80 egg back in these mining camps in 1849 because they knew they had you by the balls. Like it is what it is. If you want to eat, this is the price.
Well, it's kind of coming back to that now. Like
Eggs are expensive.
yeah, they've gone up just in the past couple weeks. Like around
Yeah.
here, it's crazy. It's like $6 almost, but for a dozen for one egg. No, um, that's crazy. I mean, I guess it's just supply and demand, man. Like it's always been that way.
What are the chickens on strike or something? What are you talking about?
The
Why are
80,
the prices of eggs so high?
no, back then.
Yeah, I agree with you then, but why are they going up now? What's the deal here?
I don't know. I don't even want to give a guess because I think people are having to pay too much to get them in.
Josh, are you okay? Because you don't feel I almost feel like you don't feel comfortable answering this question. Is there a chicken uh outside of the camera holding a gun to your back or something? What's going on here?
There is.
Do the chickens not want you to answer this question, Josh? Help you.
Call the colonel.
Okay, I will. I'll call the colonel. But first,
No, I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe it's just the companies. Oh, actually, I do know why. I do know why. During COVID, when businesses were slow and stuff,
Mhm.
something happened. I'd have to look it up to get the details. But they were able to start like charging more to make up for their losses
Okay.
legally, and they never stopped doing it. They took advantage of a loophole or something, and they just kept doing it. It's
I just
price
think it's crazy.
gouging.
I just like it's so crazy, and this is the last thing I want to say about it. It's like it's so crazy that if you want to eat healthy, like if you want to have eggs or like a good source of protein or organic anything, it's so expensive. But if you want to eat Doritos and drink soda pop and eat candy, it's so much cheaper. It's just it why does the US government want to kill the consumer? I mean, that's I don't know. Like they would I feel like they'd want you around longer to buy more stuff. If they kill you, you can't buy anything else. What's the deal here?
I'm not sure it's killing us. It's just keeping us like compliant and dumb and like lazy, unmotivated.
Reliant on the medical system because if you're not healthy, you got to go to the doctor, then you have to
Yeah.
get there, go to the
And,
pharmacy and pay for all that crap.
and if you're doing all that, you're not realizing that literally like 1% of the population has all the money and the 99% are down here struggling. And if we all got along, the 99%,
Hmm.
that would scare the hell out of the 1% and all the powerful people. So they got to keep us down here unhealthy, arguing about this, arguing about that, because if we were together on everything, things might be a little different, and that scares them. So I think they got us chasing our tails medically, keeping us like sluggish and stuff with like the Doritos and everything you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not trying to get tinfoil hattie here, but if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. So
It's like me and you were trying to have like a really serious political discussion about like health and prices of groceries and stuff, but I'm like, Josh, I really want to keep talking about this, but these Twizzlers are just divine. These are so good.
you're like,
Can't
if
focus.
we all join together, we could get something done. But man, I got to hit McDonald's real quick. I am
Yeah.
starving.
I am
I'm
just
not empty.
fucking, excuse me, I use the F word. I'm famished. By the way, this episode is brought to you by the fine folks at Mountain Dew and Surge
And McDougal's.
and Wonky Eye Straws.
There you go. You know, even if you do eat McDonald's when you're hungry, you're going to be hungry like 30 minutes later. So it's not even worth it.
Like Chinese food.
Right.
Josh, let's go into Josh's cringe corner.
Oh God, I got a good one for you this week.
Okay.
Da-na-na-na-na. Remember Batman? You
Yeah.
remember, like 1960s Batman?
Loved it. Campy, kind of weird, goofy. I love it.
It's time to meet the hero that will shine a light upon the world of villains. Here he is. Bible Man.
Miles Peterson, a man who had it all. Wealth, status, success. Still, something was lacking. Miserable, alone, his spirit beaten, Miles Peterson gave up. Then, in his darkest hour, the words of a single book began to change his life.
Bible.
And at last, Miles Peterson felt the burning desire to know God. Inspired by the Word of God and equipped with unyielding faith, Miles pledged to fight evil in the name of God. As Bible Man.
Put on the full armor of God. Full armor seat. Waist belt crew. Breastplate of righteousness. Shield of faith. Helmet of salvation. And the sword of the Spirit.
He's like screaming. Like, can you imagine being out in public and seeing somebody give up or whatever the guy did? And you just look over and some guy drops to his knees, falls down on his face, glasses all broke, and just
I would think they were upset about the price of groceries because they just tried to get eggs and they couldn't afford it. Or I would think that Bill Cosby just visited their house
You beat me to
and
it.
served cocktails. Why did he have to face plant? He like literally face planted himself.
You got to really, really, you know, he's going for that. He's going for that. I don't know what I'd call it instead of the Golden Globe or the Emmy. It would be the he was going for a Noah. He was really getting a Moses.
He was going for a Christy.
A Christy, there you go.
He was going the first annual winner of the male performance genre for the Trax Network. The first nominee of the year is Willie Ames for Bible Man, and he is up for a very prestigious Trax Network Christy.
Oh, did you know that the soundtrack for the show Bible Man went triple myrrh?
I had only heard that it went double frankincense.
No, triple myrrh. Triple myrrh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy,
What do you think of Willie Ames as Bible Man?
Yeah, Josh, I think that's a really interesting choice to have Willie Ames be Bible Man. I guess that TBN or the Trinity Network or whatever channel that was on really wanted to go full like realism because Willie Ames after like Charles in Charge and Celebrity Fit Club kind of fell off the map. Pretty sure he was like homeless, like doing coke, completely broke. So I don't know if he turned his life around so much that actually became Bible Man. I
It was for the
also,
courts.
yeah, I think the court made him be Bible Man. Also, I was really shocked, and this is kind of off topic. When Avengers Endgame came out, I was almost positive that when like Black Panther and Spider-Man and everybody came back, I thought for sure I was going to see Bible Man show
Right?
up, yeah, and fight Thanos with the word of God.
Maybe in Avengers Doomsday, it'll be like an end credits thing, like all this Doomsday stuff is happening, and the only person that can save him is Bible
Bible Man.
Man. Bible Man does everything a Bible can, lays on tables, lays on beds, puts the word of God in your head. Watch out. Here comes Bible Man.
In the thrill of night, at the scene of a sin. Um, how are they going to explain that Robert Downey Jr. is no longer Iron Man and that he's Doctor Doom? Are they going to even try to address that as a joke that like you look similar to Tony Stark, or are they just going to pretend like that doesn't it's not a thing?
I'm guessing an alternate universe Doomsday, or they're going to completely change the history of Doomsday, and it's going to be like a undead Tony Stark becomes Doomsday.
So weird. I think it's interesting, but it's weird. I'm glad he's back, but it's an odd choice.
Gonna
I
be
feel like it's
weird.
Marvel. It's like Marvel, like they know that their movies are not making as much money and they know interest is waning in their properties. And they're like, oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. is what we based this whole universe around to begin with. Let's bring Robert Downey Jr. back. That'll save everything. What it feels like.
Yep.
Um, hey, kids, if you're watching at home, /Trax2020@gmail.com. If you have anything that you'd like Josh and I to talk about in a future episode, if there's a future episode of a movie review you'd like us to talk about, like a certain movie, certain TV show, certain cartoon show, write us at /Trax2020@gmail.com and we'll try to get you on the show. Josh, can you please tell the Slashketeers and Slashaholics at home about our fine Patreon and opportunities for Cameo?
Yes, if you would like to book us on Cameo for a video for any event or, doing embarrassing stuff, whatever, it's like $7, folks, and it helps support the channel. We're not monetized here on this channel at the moment. The main channel will never be monetized. So if you want to support the channel and see us keep doing what we're doing, go to our Patreon and join up. You can also do a super thanks tip for us on PayPal or even Cash App. The information's always in the pinned comment and in the description. And sometimes you'll even see the QR code for the PayPal tip on the screen. We appreciate you.
All right, now that the business is out of the way, Josh, let's get back into the fun. Josh, we have a who would win, but it's a little bit of a twist on this one, Josh. We're not doing a who would win in a physical fight this episode, Josh.
Okay.
We're gonna do we're gonna do a who would win, and this is a dance off. Okay, who is gonna serve who?
Okay.
Is it gonna be Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld, bringing her dance moves against Jean-Claude Van Damme from the movie Kickboxer? Josh, you have the floor first. Who would win? Dance off. Go.
Elaine, because I wouldn't be able to watch Jean-Claude Van Damme do his dance. For some reason, it like, I feel like my outside feels like what your insides would feel like after you take a drink that was paid for and bought by Bill Cosby and given to you. So Elaine, even though it's, oh my God, it's bad. Are we going to show clips of each dance and let the folks decide?
We could do that, but what you're saying is when you're choosing, you're saying Elaine, Lane, Lane. That's Fat Albert saying Elaine because you said Bill Cosby, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Elaine, Elaine. Hey, Elaine, Elaine. I'm gonna say definitely Van Damme. His moves are just too crisp, too athletic, too spicy. Every girl in that bar during that dance scene could not resist him. Afterwards, all the males were jealous that he was getting so much play with his great dance moves and he had to whoop some ass.
Cheetahs were
Yep.
ovulating when he was dancing.
Females, not cheetahs, female women started to ovulate as soon as he was dancing. That's the same movie, Slashaholics, where Jean-Claude Van Damme, I believe there's a training sequence where his master has his legs. Doesn't he have his legs like tied to ropes? And he's
Yeah.
like pulling. Take it to the limit. Make your dance moves ovulate. All the females and have a steak. You're gonna take it to the limit. You're a manly man. Elaine goes down. Van Damme, I don't know where this song is going. Take it to the limit.
You sound like the Orgasmo song. It's like, what makes a man? Is it the power in his hand? Or it's like, is it the woman by his side just because she has big titties? Or is it the way he fights every day? No, it's probably the titties. I love that song.
Josh, let's transition. Let's transition to another. Let's transition to another Slash Trax craft corner.
All
So
right.
for all the Slashketeers and Slashaholics that want to save some money because eggs are so expensive, grocery prices are ridiculous. You want to save some money. You have some fun at home. You have some utensils maybe on hand in the junk drawer. Hopefully, you have some rubber gloves. You don't have to pay for them. But Josh, hit them with today's craft corner.
You know, most of the kids that come to your party will have never milked a cow. You can provide them that experience. That's right. We brought Elsie the cow here. She is all ready to be milked. And did you see this? That's right. It's a rubber glove that really can be milked. Now, the udders go on. This is a rubber glove. You can buy these at a drugstore, maybe even a craft store. You fill that with milk. I poked a hole right here and put the udders through. Open this up, and you can milk it just like a... In fact, if you come a little bit closer, I think I can get you a squirt. That's right. I used to do that when I was a little kid, but kids can sit here. I mean, this is just like what it was when I was a little kid. You didn't ever quite make the bucket. So you can see, you may want to go till they milk a half a cup, or they can have a race of doing this. I mean, pretty soon you get real good. It does milk just like a cow. So if you want to have a fun Western party, you're all set. Get the cactus out, get the cows out, and the kids can have a real fun time milking that cow.
Crafty.
That lady is going to become a staple of the show. I think she's going to be the star of the Slash Trax network.
She's gonna. Jeff and Tony better watch out.
The guy from Country Buffet is sharpening his knives right now as he's watching this. Oh, she's going to be the star, huh?
We'll see how long that lasts.
He's
over
sharpening
there.
it like,
He's over there standing with the ghost of Sid Vicious, you know, like, yeah, she'll get used a lot.
oh no. The ghost, hey, the Star Wars space ghosts of Slash Track is Sid Vicious and Zeus. Or Z Gangsta.
And
they're
Hulk
in
Hogan.
Jedi.
And
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, but it's like,
Hogan's career.
yeah, it's just,
They're in Jedi cloaks, like robes.
yes.
Yeah, those are the Slash Trax Network Jedi space ghosts. Hey Josh, we actually have a Dear Slashy this episode.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so this was this person, fan of the show, wrote in.
I love how Express-ish never works with us because we're just having too much fun. Like, sorry.
Okay, dear Alex, dear Josh, I have a lot of free time lately, and I find myself being very bored. Do you have any suggestions on how to spend my free time? And this is from friend of the show, Filbert Justice, 4798, and he wrote into the comments below of Slash Trax News Expressius number 2. Josh, you have the floor.
You're looking at it, buddy. We have a whole back catalog of movie riffs, of news episodes, of movie reviews, interviews on the main channel and on this channel, Saturday morning episodes. I mean, it'll keep you busy for like years, like honestly. And there's a bunch of audiobooks I've narrated in the horror genre. keep you real busy. No,
You are such a dick. You are such a dick because that is exactly what I was gonna say, and you got it first. I killed my own joke. You know what? That is the only answer to this question.
it really
There's
is.
so much content. You got to get on the main channel. You got to get on the new channel. Spend your Saturday mornings with us, and when you're bored doing that, head on over, watch some Mystery Science Theater homages on Slash Trax. Hours, hundreds of hours of entertainment, right?
Yeah, hundreds at this
Gotta
point.
be. Gotta be. But if you're done with Slash Tracks Network for the day, you put a good 10 hours in, you liked everything, you subscribed to everything, you commented on everything you watched. I think what you could do is maybe start exercising an hour a day, maybe go on a walk.
Yeah.
You could take up some of the craft corner tips we have on the show now.
Mm.
You could learn how to milk a cow at home. You could paint a fish.
Go out to the club with Bill Cosby.
That's not a good idea. Not a good, especially after what you told me earlier in the episode. That is not a good idea. That is bad advice, Josh. Bad advice. You could. There's a lot of things. How about all the people who've left bad comments and said mean things about us? You could start your own YouTube show and painstakingly curate an audience over years and years and years of hard work, and then Josh and I could find your channel and we could leave mean comments below on your shows. There's so many things you could do. There's so many things you could do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, the places you will see.
Yeah. Just stick with Slash Tracks. Start watching every back episode. Leave a comment. Hit the like button. You're going to go places.
Does low energy have you down? Do you need that extra boost to give you the energy of a warrior? Well, you're in luck. Just crack open a nice piss-warm can of Warrior Fuel. That's right, folks. You can have the energy of the ultimate warrior in a can. Feel his power. Drink one can and...
You can feel it, dude! You can feel it!
That's right, folks. After that one can of Warrior Fuel, you'll have the fighting spirit of the warrior. Warrior Fuel tastes like piss, is not sold in stores, and depends on the urinary progress of the Ultimate Warrior.
Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel, load it with the warriors, and hit me with the power of the Ultimate Warrior.
Overconsumption of Warrior Fuel may cause side effects.
Felt the power makes the skies rumble and the earth shake. Where nightmares are the best part of my day. I live for anger and frustration. The power of the warriors will become the eighth wonder of the world.
Warrior Fuel comes in 2 flavors. Roid Rage Raspberry and Coked Up Cherry. To find out more, tune into the Slash Tracks Action News Podcast, only available on the Slash Tracks YouTube channel. Drink responsibly.
Josh, let's
Warrior Fuel.
Drink some Warrior Fuel. If you're going out for that night, drink some All-American booze. It'll be a great night. Josh, let's get into your favorite segment, Slash Tracks Sports.
Ish.
Sports
Is it an ish? No ish? Okay.
2 quick stories. These are really quick. Okay, here's a fun fact, a baseball fun fact. Cleveland Indians pitcher Ray Caldwell was struck by lightning in the 9th inning on August 24th, 1919. So this guy, Josh, was struck by a lightning bolt during a game. He proceeded to get up and he finished the game after they revived him. So medical personnel rushed to Ray on the mound, who had just been struck by lightning, revived him. He didn't go to the hospital. He didn't leave the stadium. He adjusted his ball cap and finished pitching the game.
See, there's living proof that there was a lot more testosterone in men back then than there is nowadays, because real man gets up and finishes the game, by God, no matter what, by God, America.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Sounds like the plot of a 90s Disney movie, man. You know, like the baseball bolt or something. You know, he gets struck by lightning and he can run the bases like Sonic the Hedgehog or something.
It's just like there's so many players nowadays that oh, this player's got a hangnail, so he's out for 2 weeks, or this player had a cramp like last week, so therefore he's not playing for a month. Back in the old days, slashaholics, like if you didn't play, you didn't get paid. So it was like a real job. So especially in 1919, that's kind of depression era. That guy's going back to work. Not even a lightning bolt is stopping Ray.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last sports story of the episode. All right, Pete Carroll, Josh, is set to become the oldest head coach in NFL history. He turns 74 years young in September, and the Las Vegas Raiders just hired him.
Wow.
So he's 74. What are your thoughts on Pete being hired by the Raiders at 74?
You do you, boo. Like that's pretty cool. Congratulate Mazel Tov. That's awesome.
Are they gonna? So like he's 74. So at this point, are the Raiders only gonna sign him every year to a 1-year deal just in
Right.
case?
He's already past the expectancy of us men.
Like, yeah, it's like Pete can't give you a multi-year contract. And it's like, why? We went to the playoffs last year. They almost made the Super Bowl. Yeah, Pete, but we really, biologically don't want you to expire during the season, and we don't want to be left holding the bag. So
Yeah, like
uh,
you're one cold breeze away from pneumonia.
yeah,
Like
1-year deals for you, Petey, going forward. Pete just got hired by the Raiders. He's at the press conference. What do you think about this new deal, Pete? What's your goal and your vision for the team this year? Well, it's good to be hired. I'd say my goal for this year is to just not die during the middle of the season. I hope to live through the entire all 16 games. And my second goal would be, if I accomplish that, if we make the playoffs, I'd like to also live through the playoff matchups. That's great, Pete. Good to have you here in Vegas. So yeah, Pete Carroll, 74 years old. Excuse me. Josh, let's get into our favorite segment, I think. Trax Wrestling.
and I've got something I wanted to throw into it.
Okay.
And let's see if it's a psychic moment or not.
Okay.
Did you
First-
see that?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Triple H inducted himself into the Hall of Fame, and he says it was a surprise.
That's story 2. So yes, we're thinking. It says Triple H will finally be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and Josh is talking about he was like given some sort of business conference. I don't even think it was wrestling related. I think it was business related, and he had like Nick Khan and some other big wigs with him, and HBK's music hit, and then the Undertaker's music hit, and Triple H looked genuinely confused, and they said they were inducting him at long last into the Hall of Fame.
They're
Josh,
gonna have to
have the floor.
They're gonna have to. There's no way it was a surprise, folks. There's no way. These guys literally entertain and act surprised and scared and mad for a living. Okay. Triple H was not caught off guard. He knew this was happening, but they are going to make sure to induct like a bigger name than his, because like Triple H, and I agree with Jim Cornette on this, he was never the money guy. He was always the guy that worked well with the money guy. Like
he was the guy, yeah, he was always the heel, the foil, the stepping stone to get to the guy.
yes, but he was never the money guy. He was never The Rock. He was never the Undertaker. He was never Hogan or Cena or Jim Smithers or whatever their names are nowadays. Roman Reigns. Goofy smile, Roman Reigns. Yeah, so not a Triple H fan. A Paul Levesque fan, big time, because I like what that he's running things and trying to help out. I love the deal between TNA and WWE.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, because back in the day, that would have been really cool, giving wrestlers more work. But yeah, there's no way he was shocked and surprised, and everything was. It was a work, folks. It was a work.
I think that his longevity as a performer and being semi to main event status for that entire time, it warrants a Hall of Fame induction. I also think that, I mean, just being part of DX, being part of the second incarnation of DX, being the leader of that, I think
Yes.
the McMahon Helmsley era, the sheer number of main events he's been in, the sheer number, whether you think it was because he was sleeping with Stephanie or not, the
It
sheer
was
number
because he
of
was sleep. You honestly think he'd be put in those spots?
the
Hunter
sheer
Hunter Hurst Helmsley, Alex,
he
the
wasn't.
the blue blood guy. If he didn't start doing what he did, do you honestly think he would have got the pushes he got
I'm just saying the amount of times he had the belt, the title is ridiculous. It's you have to acknowledge that.
and beat Sting and
I
show
was there. I was there live. I was at that WrestleMania.
it's ridiculous. And then, okay, can we at least agree on one thing? The
Okay.
whole surprise
Maybe.
conference thing is something they had to do. You know, I get it. He's inducted in the Hall of Fame, but they can't say he inducted himself. It was a work.
Yeah,
The
well obviously because what I had read probably years ago was Triple H was just they had asked him about the Hall of Fame and he's like, well, I am the game, and I think, we'll go down that road when it comes. But he he basically was saying like it's not the time for it. I'm not like trying to push for it. He was
yeah.
pushing it off. He didn't want it. So I think in a way I believe that it was real, and in another I have a hard time believing that since he's so heavily involved in the business side that he wouldn't have known that he's probably headlining it, right? Don't you think he's going to headline this class?
He
How
was the
would he
first
not know about it?
inductee. So usually the first inductee is the biggest one, right?
Yeah. So how the hell would he not know? So I have a hard time believing he didn't know just for promotional uh stuff
I know.
for
Okay,
the
there's one way he didn't
okay.
know. Like they gave him the rundown for this year's Hall of Fame, and the first inductee was Bastion Booger. And
Hey, do you remember the Royal Rumble when Bastion Booger they called his name, he was supposed to show up. It was like number 26 and like nobody showed up. There was no number 26 that year. It was supposed to be Friar Ferguson, Bastion Booger. It was supposed to be him. Norman the Lunatic. That was his other
Mantar,
gimmick.
they
Yeah, he
could have
just
they could have sent
no show.
Mantar out.
They could have sent uh anybody out. They could have sent one of the Briscoes out. They could have sent Pat Patterson. They
Do you
could have
remember?
sent out Doink.
Do you remember the
Somebody.
year? You remember the year that Mankind came out as Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack?
Yeah, and I remember thinking this is absolutely a work because they knew he was going to be thrown out 3 different times.
WCW should have done something like that with Brutus Beefcake, like
The booty man,
the Zodiac, the man
the
with no face,
disciple.
the man with no name, Brother Brudeye, the Butcher.
Didn't you? Okay, so we're totally off topic here. Brutus Beefcake. I want to talk about him for a second. He he had such a great run in WWF, and whether you think it was just because of Hulk Hogan or not, if you go back to the mid '80s, when his music hit and he'd cut his opponent's hair, he was over. He
Oh, he
was
was.
popular.
I liked him. I had no idea he was the freaking disciple at first.
I didn't know that either. He didn't look anything like Brutus Beefcake. He was more cut and he had that beard.
And it's
And
funny. You can tell that he was a big power lifter back in the day because now he hasn't worked out in a while, so all of his muscles just.
yeah, he looks a little rough.
Even he is done with Hogan. There's a shoot interview about how him and Hogan are not friends because Hogan hit on his wife when they came to visit Hogan. The wife told Brutus about it. Brutus went to Hogan about it and said, "Look, brother, you're welcome here anytime, but I don't want her around." And it's like,
was it? I heard that he disrespected her. I didn't hear that he actually made a pass at her. But
yeah, he hit on her, trying to get her to hook up, like swing and stuff.
oh boy.
And
Oh,
and Brutus brought up a good point. Everybody thinks Hogan kept Brutus in going, but really, if you think about it, apparently Brutus was like the driver for Hogan, was pretty much his manager for free.
carried his bags to the arena. It's like Hogan would have never got anywhere on time if it wasn't for the disciple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dead serious. Brutus.
I'm not joking.
Brutus probably did a lot of. It really helped Hogan through the years. And without Brutus the Beefcake, I'm not sure Hogan does as good as he did. Honestly.
Well, they started out together in the 70s. They were like the Boulder Brothers in like a really small promotion.
Yep.
And then Brutus, or Ed Leslie, the man who played Brutus, followed Hogan around from, federation to federation, territory to territory. Hogan, he was just one of Hogan's guys. I mean, and they were best friends. They worked out together. They started out together.
Had the
Um,
best Starcade main event in history. Hulk Hogan versus the Zodiac or whatever. I mean, who else would he fight that year? Vader, the number one contender. I mean,
King,
why would they?
Macho Man, could have been
Why,
anybody.
well, why would they put him against the number one contender at WCW's version of WrestleMania? I mean,
That's incredible. That is incredible that Brutus main evented like the equivalent of WrestleMania. That
Yes,
is
yes.
insane. Josh,
By
get
God,
your-
he was supposed to be the Intercontinental Champion, Alex.
he was
Not
the
Ultimate Warrior, by God.
He was the tag team champion too. Josh, get your bingo card out. Get your Scott Steiner bingo card out. Story number 2.
Okay.
Scott Steiner, Josh, has reportedly been teasing a WWE Royal Rumble appearance this year. Would you like to see Big Papa Pump in this year's Royal Rumble?
Yep. There's probably like a 33 2/3 chance of him actually showing up. But if you take the 63 1/3 chance of him not showing up and you put those together, you get 100%. You times that by 200%. And you divide that by the chances of him kicking everybody's butt. It's like maybe like a 20% chance. You take all that and you put it together, and you got a 110% chance of him showing up and at least throwing a couple people out.
The math on that is more solid than what are the chances of someone getting roofied when Bill Cosby's in the green room at the Trax network. Oh man, he's the straw that stirs the drink, and he's kicked out of the studio. I would love to see like if his music hit and he showed up and he was like even halfway in shape and he had that chainmail thing on his head. I think, and if he could move around the ring, because I think he's still working independent dates. He's wrestling to this day. And it was halfway believable. I think the crowd would go crazy. I'd like to see it. I like those entries when you don't know who's coming.
Yeah.
I think it would be very cool.
I do too.
Especially with his nephew, Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's the IC champ. He's super over right now. Really popular. Be kind of cool to have that connection. Maybe have a moment with both of them in the ring at the same time. I think that would be really neat.
Their ratings on Raw have dropped like over 50% since the first episode.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was excited. They had a lot of big names. They had the Roman Reigns match for, to be the tribal chief.
They expected a 33% drop. And I'm not being Scott Steiner. They didn't expect
and they got 50%?
Over 50% since the first episode. That's not good, losing, because you expect there's going to be extra people watching for the premiere.
Yeah.
But like the second week, they lost like 30 something. And now it's like a little over 50. If it keeps dropping, what are they going to do?
Hold on. I'm getting breaking news. Wrestling breaking news. Jimmy Hart is in my earpiece right now. And if these numbers are correct, Josh, the only answer to the ratings going back up, because you know who was on that first episode, right? Hulk Hogan.
They got to bring him back. Yep.
We got to bring Hulkster back. Hulkster is the reason the ratings dropped. He wasn't on those episodes.
Jim Cornette's out there going, "Oh my God, I was following you guys till then."
Son of a bitch! Oh, I'm gonna have an extra double cheeseburger. I got heartburn, baby.
Who's your wrestling hero?
Mine?
Yeah.
I have a hard time not saying Bret Hitman Hart, just because if you look back through the lens of time, he's like the one wrestler that was never full of shit. He always kind of told it the way it was. And I liked that he believed his gimmick and he lived his gimmick and he was the Hitman and he took himself too seriously. But in hindsight, would you rather have the guy you like watching take himself too seriously, or would you like him to constantly tell you that what you're watching is bullshit?
Yeah.
Probably Bret Hart.
Well, Cornette is like my kindred spirit with wrestling. Like my hero would be Roddy Piper, but like kindred spirit, Jim Cornette. I agree with him on like almost 100% of everything of what he says about wrestling wise and his thoughts on other topics. So I'd love to try to interview that guy someday.
Hey man, if our network keeps growing like it has been, there could be a crossover situation maybe sometime in the future. And I'm not saying that in a joking manner. Like I think it could happen. I really do.
Especially, we're going to build towards a wrestling podcast. We might as well because we spend so much time on it.
Start off with like one of the best names in the business, get Jim Cornette. I was also, and I'm gonna say one more hero, and you may not agree with me, and I know we joke about him all the time, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of mixed reactions from this, but Jim Hellwig, not necessarily a hero as some of the personal things he said. I don't agree with all the things he said.
I don't agree with any.
But like as far as his outlook on human beings are unique. You have one thumbprint. Everybody's individual. Everybody has their own mark they can leave on the world, and to work hard and to go after your dreams. I buy all that. So
Yeah, that's
all
cool.
that motivational stuff, I love all that.
I used to hate him for beating Hulk Hogan when I was little and breaking my heart, but now it's like, thank you, Warrior, thank you
Thank you for doing the Lord's work, Jim.
for getting paid,
Chuck,
tens of thousands of dollars to fake wrestle a guy and pin him. It means a lot. I can't believe I used the F word. I am no longer a wrestler, I guess.
hey, some people say, like, before we get into Slash Track spooky and horror news, um, some people would say that like the Ultimate Warrior was just in it for the money and all he cared about was himself and whatever. But Shane McMahon has been on record that after WrestleMania 6, when he won the belt at WrestleMania, he went into a broom closet and cried his eyes out. He was so overwhelmed with emotion and just so happy that that moment happened. So it's like if he didn't care about wrestling, that would never have happened. It would have just been another payday.
Yeah,
He
I get
wouldn't
it.
have.
I get it. I get it.
I'm just saying that if things that I've not given a crap about, I don't break down alone and start crying about it. That doesn't happen.
That's a good point. And the
Mhm.
reason my eyes are glassy, folks, is I've been a little stressed and not sleeping well, not because I was dosed by Bill Cosby before the episode.
um, let's get into
It's lightning round, brother. 10 minutes. Can we do it?
maybe. Let's get into Slash Tracks
Let's go.
4. All right, first story. Scary Movie 6 is set to release the summer of 2026. The Wayans brothers are officially back running the franchise.
It's going to be good. Take my
Yeah,
strong hand. Love it.
their Scary Movie, the whole franchise lost its way when the Wayans brothers were forced out.
Three was funny. I did like three, but 4 and 5 just went off the rails, off the rails.
No, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I remember the first two Scary Movies being just hilarious, but I enjoyed all of them. I'm pretty sure I saw all of them in the theaters.
Leslie Nielsen was fun in the ones without the Wayans. So
And
I'm glad to get to that.
Shaq, when he's like, "Hey Kobe, is that you,
Mhm.
Kobe?" That was hilarious. Looking forward to it. Second and last horror story of the episode. Josh, Robert England has revealed the only way that he'll ever return as Freddy Krueger on screen is going to be in an animated version. Would you want to see this?
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely. I would love that. That would be great.
Movie,
Celestial Slumber, the animated movie. Do it.
movie, TV show. What do you think?
Movie. Like
Yeah.
straight to DVD. DC does it all the time, R-rated awesome animated films. So
They wouldn't even need him to do most of the voiceover work because they would have demonic version Freddy voice for a lot of it too, I'm sure.
yeah, or just get me, I'm cheap.
Have you been drinking all American booze right now? Why are you selflessly promoting yourself so much? You're going rogue here.
I haven't been sleeping much lately. I'm
All right.
sorry.
But hey, if Josh got that gig, I would be the first person to tell you that my friend is the voice of Freddy Krueger. So that'd be the greatest thing ever.
Pleasant dreams.
Slash Alex, what do you think? Should Freddy Krueger return to the screen in animated version? Leave a comment below.
Yes.
Josh, let's get into headlines to end the show.
Let's do it.
All right. In 1993, during a sting operation in Mexico, Josh, and this was targeting illegal wildlife trade, zoo officials were arrested for attempting to illegally purchase a gorilla, which was in fact an FBI agent in a gorilla suit.
Wow. I thought you were gonna say they got arrested for trying to like impregnate cheetahs that were ovulating, but and it was Bill Cosby. But no, that is hilarious. And I'm gonna have to look that one up and read more about it because that's freaking hilarious.
They're like, in order to buy this gorilla, sirs, it's going to be $10,000, and if you pay $10,500, we'll throw in the zipper on the back of the gorilla for free. Who is the FBI agent that was tasked with the job to wear the gorilla suit in the sting operation? He's that good of an actor?
The guy that got the demotion for not playing by the rules.
Who the hell are the guys what zoo is so snowed over and believing this guy in a gorilla suit is in fact a gorilla? What zoo is this?
It's the one in China or whatever that had the pandas that actually ended up being dogs that were painted recently. Do you remember that? Did you hear about that?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. And as a matter of fact, I think I had that for a story in the past, but we ended up Xing it for time.
Okay.
But I remember that. Josh, last headline of the show. You ready?
Yep.
All right. In 2015, New Zealand Scrabble champion Nigel Richards memorized a French dictionary in just 9 weeks to compete in the French World Scrabble Championships. Despite not speaking French, he won the title, and then he repeated as champion in 2018. Your thoughts?
Your thoughts. I'm gonna your thoughts first.
It's unbelievable that this man did not speak the language. I took French as a freshman in high school. I couldn't even say my name. This man, he's like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. He memorized the French dictionary so well, and he's so good at Scrabble that he was able to win the world championship of France. This is insane.
That is insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
And we're going to bring it full circle. He went on to invent the crazy eye straws, folks.
His name is Jean-Pierre Bilcasbe. Josh, we actually have one last thing to end the show and we're done.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, if you have a neighbor or you have somebody that's bothering you and you want to pull a prank, Josh and I have a tutorial, an easy 5-step tutorial for you to be able to prank your neighbor. Josh, hit him with it.
The idea was to fill a paper bag with fresh animal droppings. The fresher, the better. Then place it on the doorstep. Once done, light the bag on fire. Knock on the front door. Then run to his backyard. Then, usually the neighborhood grouch, he'd have no choice but to put out the fire. Meanwhile, you'd run to the back door and begin pounding on it. This would cause the startled victim to run back through his home, soiling his fine shag carpeting with animal droppings. Well, you've made your clean exit. Fasten your seatbelt.
There you go. Brand new. It's a new fad, people. It's a brand new thing. And hey, that's the end of the show.
That's it. Paper's thrown. We're done.
Remember Patreon, Cameo, PayPal, Cash App. If you want to support the channel, /Trax2020@gmail.com to give us a shout. Holler if you hear me. Josh and Alex hook up.
He's fat!
Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Be excellent to each other. And good night and have a pleasant tomorrow. Say good night, Alex.
Good night, Alex. Mahalo, dog.
Bible Man out.
Put on the full armor of God. Full armor seat. Waist belt approved. Breastplate of righteousness. of faith, helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit.